Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a rapid ridgeline. And that's what this is right here. It's basically a length of cord which I have set up in a very specific way. You can see it has a little loop at the end tied with a knot, and then it has a couple of different types of rope tied to it here in a certain very specific way, which allows them to slide around, and you attach your structure, either a tarp or a poncho, to these little ropes, and you put a little stick in to hold them there, and then you can set it up exactly how you want it. So it's very versatile, and more importantly, it's really quick to put up and it's really quick to take down. So if you don't like spending a lot of time doing that, setting up your shelter, or if you just need to be able to put up and take down quickly because maybe you're in a dangerous situation and you need to be able to move, then this is definitely what you're looking for here. So I've got a couple of videos where I show how to do this. The last video I made on this was called Survival Poncho, where I show you how to do that. So check that out. I'm not really going to show you specifically how to set up a structure with this. I'm just going to be making one of these today using a better piece of rope. So this is Dyneema, I don't know what they call it. I guess you call it Dyneema cord. But Dyneema is one of the strongest fabrics or threads that human beings have made up to this point. This right here, I believe, can hold 1,500 pounds, right? And it's very thin. You see it's probably at least half of the width of the rope that I was using before. So the main reason I want to do this is because when I'm going to set up my shelter, I have to find two trees or two vertical things to set it up between, and sometimes they're just a little bit too long. So I was thinking about making a longer one, but I'm using paracord here for this, and if I make this longer, then it's going to get bulkier, heavier, and take up more space in my backpack or in my pocket or wherever I'm carrying it. And I would really like to get the length, more length, without adding any bulk or weight. So that's why I decided to get this Dyneema stuff. It's a little more expensive, but of course this is going to last me a really long time and be useful almost every single day of my life that I'm living outside. So I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on this, so I'm making one of these today with Dyneema rope. So my oldest Rapid Ridgeline that I ever made is being used right now for my tarp shelter that I'm using, so I'll just show you that. So basically, again, you want to tie it to two different sides, and then you can you don't even need to do what I'm doing here, right? You could just put the tarp over the top of it, or you could have it under it and just attached at the two sliding ridge lines or bank lines that I was telling you about, which I'll show you how to set up. But it does make it more stable in the wind and more supported. So I think if you have these types of loops on the top of your tarp, that you should probably use them. So anyways, so that loop at the end of the rope that I showed you is basically right here, and you just wrap it around a tree, and then you stick the other end of the rope through it, and then you stick a stick into it, and now you're stuck there. But you can just easily pull it out, and now you're free, right? And that's kind of the main idea here. And then here's the sliding one. You see, I didn't even use bank line back in the day. This is probably a 2-year-old line. Bank line holds much better, and of course is less bulky. And you can just, well, right, see, it holds really well because it's got tension on it. But if I was able to loosen this up a little bit, then it would slide back and forth very easily. So I'm going to show you the other side now. Okay, so we're down at the other end here. This looks a little more complicated, but it's not really that much more complicated. This is just, again, the other part that I slid all the way down here and attached to the tarp. And then this is where I tied things off. So basically what this does is it just goes around, it's just line that goes around this. What is this? This is a cholla, so you got to be careful with this thing. No one's going to be sneaking in my back door because they're going to get cholla'd. But anyway, so you just basically wrap it around, and then you loop around a little thing right here, you can see, and then you pull the string through it, and then you can just yank on it, and it's going to tighten, and then you just kind of loosely tie it off. So I can yank on this, that's going to free this knot, then this thing's going to be free, and then I can basically just yank on this way, and then this way, and then this is going to be free. So all I have to do is pull that stick down there, come down here, yank this out, yank this way, and it's free. And of course you're going to need some stakes. I do carry stakes with me, but when I'm going into a more permanent situation, longer term, I always use wooden sticks that I make myself. So you can make them really long, fairly thick. The wind's not going to yank this thing out of the ground. So another nice thing about this setup is that you learn to wrap it in a certain way so that it is extremely easy to deploy. So this is the end that I'm going to attach to a tree first. And I basically just pull it out. And the whole thing just comes out as much as I want without any trouble at all. Okay, I've got the ropes laid out next to each other. Here's the end of the original one, which sometimes doesn't make it far enough. And I think I'll probably cut it about here. I'm gonna use my handy dandy Leatherman. Someone's shooting guns nearby. It happens a lot out here in the boonies. Here we go. Okay, next step is I need to tie this little loop here, and I believe this is end of the line bowline or bowline. So I'll just be doing that here. Okay, so I'm no expert rope tyer, but I do know a trick for tying the bowline. So I'm going to grab it between my two fingers here. I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to go under and flip my fingers over. And now I will go under this, and I will come back through this same loop here. So there's that. And then I can also secure it by putting in a little bit of I think they call this an overhand knot. Okay, so this is going nowhere, right? This is not coming out. So again, I'm going to wrap this side around a tree, and then I'm going to stick this in it, and I'm going to stick a stick in there, and that's going to hold around the tree no matter how hard I pull on here until I pull out that stick, and then it's going to come out instantly. Next, I'm going to be using tarred bank line. This stuff, again, it's not like something you would be using for a lot of purposes like climbing or anything like that, but the nice thing about it is it's thin, but also it does have tar on it, which makes it stay in place. So let's show you how to tie this thing on. Okay, next we're taking a length of line. It's probably about a foot long, and we're making some of these. So I'm going to go with 3 this time, 2 to hold the structure and 1 to hold like a lantern or something like that, if that may be useful. Basically, we're just tying it to itself at its ends so that it makes a loop. And this is called a fisherman's knot. You can see it's basically just 2 normal knots tied to each other, and it actually slips on it. You can slide it. It's basically a way to connect 2 ropes together, but in this case we're connecting a rope to itself. Okay, let's see how well I can do this. So basically I'm going to place it like this with this rope kind of sitting over the top of it. Then I'm going to go over it. Here, let's give us some more slack. I'm going to go over it. Then I'm going to come back around and go through here. It's hard to explain. And then I'm going to bring that, oh, it's so hard, back out through here. And I'm going to tighten that down. See, now we have 1/2 of this thing. So we'll just do it again on this side. There we go. Okay, you can see I've tied one of the loops onto my actual ridge line at this point. It's basically just looping in on itself, and then it sticks out, and this is the part that we would stick through one of the holes in the corner or the side of your tarp, and then you would stick a stick in that, and it's going to hold it, and then you can slide it up and down. You can see this thing will move up and down quite easily, but if I put a lot of pressure on it, like how my tarp would be doing, it doesn't pull anymore. So it'll slide like this, but not like this, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to take the loop and place it kind of over the rope here, and then I'm going to wrap it underneath. And then I'm going to wrap it underneath again with I want the lines going inwards for each subsequent wrap around here. And it's good to keep it clean as you're doing it so you don't have to clean it up later. And then one more time. And pull it tight. There we go. This thing will slide up and down and it will hold when we need it to. Okay, so this is pretty much all there is to the Rapid Ridgeline in terms of actual setup of the line itself. You need the loop at the end, and then you need these sliding loops which can go across the entire length of the rope. So I'm going to show you how to wrap this up. So these are going to be spread out across the entire line when you're taking it off when the shelter was up. You'll just slide them all the way back up to the top here. Then you'll lay it across and pinch it so it's like this. Then you're going to wrap it around. You're going to wrap it around your pinky. Then you're going to wrap around your thumb, and you're just going to keep doing that exact same thing. Okay, and then you'll get to the point where you've got, you know, maybe 4 feet of rope left, and you'll take your hand out and then you'll just wrap it around to secure it. Oops, don't want that to go in there. Don't get that end in your loop. And then you can just secure this by sticking it through underneath the loop. Doesn't really, if it's secure in your bag, you don't need to worry about this too much, but this, it can be nice to be nice and secure. So again, at this point, I can just yank on this to unravel it. So I'll actually find a spot to set this up just to show you how to actually tie the knots at the other end, because that is a little bit complicated. Okay, the first part, again, take the loop, go around a tree. Oops, you'll need to pull these down farther than it's going to wrap around the tree so you can actually use them. Stick this rope through the loop and then stick a little stake or a stick and pull on that, and that's not going anywhere. Okay, I'm at the other end and I'm just going to pull my rope around. You can see this is the end that goes to the end that's not tied to anything. I'm going to pull on that, and then about here I'm going to make a little bit of a loop, and then I'm going to pull the closer end through the loop and make a little loop here, which then I will actually put the tail end through, and I'm going to pull it all the way through. So this will take a little while because I've got a lot of extra rope. Oops. And then I'm going to go through it one more time. And now I can just yank on this. And this is super tight, and it will actually hold itself until I pull it like this, and now it's loose. But if it's like this, because I did a double pull through of that loop, it makes it actually bind on itself. And then it can be good to also kind of go underneath and do a little bit of a, I don't know what they call these. It's like a knot that you can just pull out if you want to, right? Because this end is going through. And this will hold it totally secure. And then when I want to release it, I just pull this out. I pull this, and then this thing is free. And then I come to the other end, and I pull this, and this thing is free. Okay, I put it back up because I'm going to actually show you how I attach the poncho, at least one example. So I would want to slide these down to where I'm going to use it, which is going to be way down towards this end. You can see I don't have a whole lot of room to actually put the shelter up, so we'll just kind of do a half job here. Okay, so here's my poncho. I have 2 stakes. Again, you can just use sticks. I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to take it down to the point where I want to connect one side of the poncho. And I'm going to do a different shelter than I did last time. I'm going to lay it over the rope. I'm going to find the middle grommet. I'm going to stick the little thing up that we made through it, up through the grommet, and then stick the stake through, and then I'm going to pull this to where I want it to be, basically tight. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the other end. I'm going to leave the third one in the middle here. It's going to be inside the shelter, so I'll be able to hang like my flashlight from it, or a lantern or something like that. That's what the third one is for. It's a new thing I'm trying. I'm going to stick it through here, put the toggle, the stick or the stake, and just take it all the way and pull it nice and tight. Now at this point, you just need to take the four corners and stake them down to the ground, right? So in this case, I'm a little bit too high to be able to pull them far enough out for me to be able to, touch the ground, right? If I did it like this, there's not going to be much room in the shelter. So in this case, I would want to have basically stakes which have a little bit of rope tied to them so that I can actually have it out like this. And that's what I keep in my kit. So you want to stake down all four sides. If you want to just go to the ground, your rope would have to be a little bit lower. This is called the A-frame. The last one that I did, I think it's called the plow point. And there's the lean-to would be another one. You would make it much higher, and then you would actually just do toggles in the two top ends, and then it's basically just a big angled structure. So that's how you make yourself a rapid ridgeline, and basically how you set it up. I'll probably do a video in the future where I show you those three configurations of a poncho for this, kind of in quick succession, because they're really useful in different types of situations, whether you have different type of brush around you, whether it's going to be really rainy, or if it's going to be dry and hot and you're just trying to give yourself shade, or you're trying to be kind of incognito and not be seen. So when I do that video, you'll see kind of more details, more clean and succinct how to set this thing up once you've already made it. But this video is, again, mostly about how to make it. So I hope that is useful to you. You're able to make some on your own. I've got enough rope that I'm probably going to make about 2 more of those and give them to friends, or maybe if someone wants to donate, I'll send one their way. So anyways, it's a really nice thing to have. It's good to put up a shelter quickly and take it down quickly, and it doesn't take too much room in your bag either. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.